We Are One Body Audio Theater presents The Light Princess, based on the story by George MacDonald.
There are many stories about princesses. Some who sleep, some who clean, some who are the fairest of them all. But you've probably never heard about the princess who could fly. Well, float, anyway. And like any great story about a princess, it all started once upon a time in a faraway kingdom. The princess was then but a baby, and an altogether normal baby at that. But her trouble began, as is often the case in these stories, when the time came for her christening. The girl's father, the king, forgot to invite his sister to the event. And unfortunately, his sister was a wicked enchantress of the vindictive and unforgiving kind. To make a long story short, the wicked woman appeared at the christening only to curse the child, depriving her of gravity. The princess became light of body and light of spirit. She grew up laughing at the world, never quarreling, never worrying, never taking anything seriously. And when she would jump or laugh or take too big a step, up she would go, floating around like a sprightly balloon or a cheerful lark. After the initial shock, her parents became somewhat amused. Babies are very cute, and flying babies all the more so, especially when they never cry. But as the girl reached her formative years and struggled to keep her 2 feet on the ground, her parents worried about her ability to live a fulfilling life.
Oh, Clifton, I knew this day would come.
We all did, my dear. Daughters age constantly, and it's not unusual for them to turn 18 at their 18th year.
It's not that she's 18, it's that she's 18 and is still just as blissful and blithe as she was when she was a toddler.
Well, I haven't been one to complain. It's been delightful raising a child who always laughs and never cries. Do you remember the first time Allaira floated? The nurse who was rocking her was terror-stricken, of course. But Allaira simply floated back down into her arms, laughing and laughing the whole time.
That's true. Oh, and when she was a little babe and crawled all over the ceiling, the servants would need a ladder to bring her down again, and tongs to reach her when she would float up the chimney.
Did you know some of the servants used to play ball with her? I mean, with her as the ball. Back and forth she would go, flying from one to the other, screeching with laughter. What a darling.
But surely her flying antics are growing rather tiresome. And what becomes of a person too light of both body and spirit to take anything, including gravity, seriously? I worry about the child.
Now that she's a grown woman, perhaps she's matured out of this light phase. Squire!
Yes, Your Majesty.
Squire, tell Princess Allaira that her father and mother would like to see her.
Yes, Your Majesties, but what if I can't catch her?
A butterfly net or a fishing rod. Just bring her in. It's a matter of great importance.
Yes, Your Majesty.
What are you thinking, Clifton?
We are going to test our daughter. What if this is one of those curses that alleviates with age? Today is her 18th birthday. Perhaps the curse has been lifted overnight.
But how do you intend to test it?
We will tell her horrible things, awful, dreadful, nasty things, and we'll see how she reacts.
What kind of things?
Just follow my lead, Emeline.
Ahem. Your Majesties, the Princess Allaira.
Good morning, Papa. Good morning, Mama. Oops.
Allaira, please come down from the ceiling. We just had your fingerprints cleaned off of the chandelier. Oh, I suppose there's the answer to your question, Clifton. There's no sense in testing her now.
Not necessarily, my dear. Despite her outward appearances, perhaps she's feeling more grounded on the inside.
So, what was it you two were whispering about? I couldn't quite make it out from the ceiling.
Your mother and I were just discussing some of the recent misfortunes.
The tragedies.
Calamities happening around the kingdom.
Oh, like what?
I just received word that a dragon from Blackbone Peak demolished our most sacred ancient temples during this year's festival of the ancestors.
Well, that's one way to crash a party.
The infernal beast disintegrated almost all in attendance with its flaming breath, just as the elders were performing the sacred dance of ancestral remembrance.
Oh, wow. Sounds like those dancers were really on fire.
And as if that wasn't enough, the children who managed to escape the carnage were devoured by a terrible ogre before it fled into the woods, never to be seen again.
Well, at least that's ogre and done with.
Now, please be serious, my dear, for once.
No, thank you, Mama. I would rather not.
Would you not like to be able to walk like other people?
No, indeed. I should think not. Other people only crawl. You all are such slow movers.
All right. That's enough. Thank you, my darling. You may go.
Thank you, Papa. If you need me, I'll be going for a swim in the lake. So please, don't need me.
Very well.
Bye, Mama. Bye, Papa.
That confounded lake seems to be the only thing she cares about.
Perhaps so. But it does seem to be the only place where gravity takes even the slightest hold of her. So there's a comfort in that.
Not very much. What is going to become of our poor Allaira? She's becoming an adult now, but if she always takes everything so lightly, could she ever really care about anything at all?
Baronon, I hate to admit it, but I think we're lost. Yeah, I know, you're right. It probably wasn't wise to take a shortcut through the forest of confusion. Whoa, hey, all right, settle down. No need for language like that. But we wouldn't even be heading home so soon if my date with that last princess hadn't gone so poorly. She just wasn't right for me, you know? None of them have been. And maybe it's just because I've been so melancholic. I shouldn't be. I'm a prince. I have a great life, a kingdom, a good horse. But I am melancholic. You're a good listener, by the way. Thanks, pal. But it's okay. Did you hear that? It sounds like a damsel in distress. Don't worry, fair maiden. I'm on my way. Baronon, ride! Look, Baronon. There's a young woman drowning in the lake. Never fear. I will rescue you. Yep!
Ah! What are you doing?
Don't worry, miss. I've got you. And I will throw you safely ashore. Yeah!
Ah!
No need to thank me. You're flying.
Yes, I'm flying. Specifically, I'm trying to grab onto a branch of this tree to keep me from falling all the way down to the sun. Ugh. There we go.
Wait just a moment. You're the Light Princess. The princess who floats. I recognized you by your unusual altitude.
Princess Allaira is my name. What business had you to pull me down out of the water and throw me to the bottom of the air? I never did you any harm.
Oh, pardon me. I didn't mean to hurt you.
I don't believe you have any brains, and that is worse than your wretched enslavement to gravity. I pity you. Now, will you please pull me out of this tree and put me up into the water?
I'm sorry. You mean you want me to put you down into the water?
No, you idiot. I'm down in this tree. I want to go up into the water.
Oh, I see. While gravity pulls the rest of us down to the ground, you get pulled down to the sky. Well then, how am I to get you up from the tree and into the water?
That is your business. You took me out. Put me in again.
Very well. Hip.
What do you intend on doing?
If your majesty will wait just a second, she'll find out.
I must say, Prince, I've never seen anyone climb a tree quite so fast, and in such nice clothes.
How did you know I was a princess?
Because you're a very nice young man.
I guess I can't hide it. There you are. Now hold on to me tight, princess, and we'll be up in that lake straight away.
What? I don't quite
Here we go. Yeah! So, how do you like falling in?
Is that what you call falling in?
I would say it was a fine example of it, yes.
It seems like going up to me. How do you like falling in?
It is beyond everything. For I have fallen in with the only perfect creature I ever saw.
All right. No more of that now. I'm tired of it.
Don't you like falling in, then?
Oh, I do. It's the most delightful fun I've ever had in my life. I never fell before. I wish I could learn. To think I am the only person in my father's kingdom that can't fall.
Well, I shall be most happy to fall in with you anytime you like.
Thank you. I don't know. Perhaps it would not be proper, but I don't care. At all events, as we have fallen in, let us have a swim together.
With all my heart.
So, which prince are you? And how do you happen to come here? I don't suppose you were on a quest to save a maiden who wasn't drowning.
Believe it or not, no. I'm Prince Tobey of Durinia.
Wait, aren't you the prince who's known as Tobey the Tragic? Tobey the Tiresome? Tobey the Terribly Depressed?
Is that what they call me?
Yes, because you're always moping about like a sad sack all the time.
If I may be perfectly frank with you, it's because my parents are dead.
Oh, is that all? I suppose that would be rather sad, but you must get over it.
I try, but perhaps if you lost your parents, you might also feel similarly depressed.
I shouldn't think so. Depression involves sulking and whining and crying takes up so much time. I've never cried, and I don't recommend it to anyone.
Well, I'm not enamored with it myself, but surely you can't go around laughing in the faces of people with tragic stories. Apart from anything else, it's just rude.
Well, I never. But you're Tobey the Tragic. You would say that.
Well, you're the Light Princess. You would make light of everything I say.
If I'm the Light Princess and you're Tobey the Tragic, is your horse Splasher the Stallion?
My horse? What?
Look behind you.
What? No, Baronon, stop!
Oh.
Your Majesties.
Yes, Squire.
What is it?
I've been thinking over the Princess Allaira's lack of gravity, and I may have had a revelation.
Well, out with it. We've never had any luck trying to lift her curse.
As you know, she spends a great deal of time in the lake outside the castle.
Especially these last few weeks. I've seen her from this window spending most of her time swimming with a young prince.
She hasn't spoken a word of this young man to us. How do you know he's a prince?
Just by looking at him. He's clearly a very nice young man. But, Squire, what does this have to do with her lightness?
Yes, I can't say why, and I don't know how, but I've observed that the water seems to have a strange, if slight, effect on weighing her down. She simply doesn't seem to catch the breeze as easily when she's in the lake. Have you noticed this?
Why, yes, we certainly have.
And when I've gone to collect her in the evening for supper, as long as she's in the water, her temperament may even seem to be the slightest bit more balanced. Have you noticed this?
It's certainly possible, yes.
And this effect isn't limited to the lake alone, I believe.
When she's in the rain, she does seem to have a bit more weight to her. A bit.
And when I speak to her when she's still damp from a recent bath, she seems, I would hardly say stoic, but just a shade more somber. Just a shade. But what do you make of that?
Well, I can't be sure, but perhaps if this external water can exert some slight effect on her, maybe water from an even deeper source can exert an even stronger healing effect on her.
A deeper source?
Yes, Your Highness, much deeper. Her tears.
Her tears?
Yes, her tears. Of course, thus far it's proven impossible to induce the princess to tears. She's far too flighty for that, and I've witnessed you both try your hardest. But I believe that if the princess cries, the natural power of those tears may just release her from the curse that her wicked aunt placed on her at her christening.
Mind yourself. Her wicked aunt is my wicked sister.
Oh, of course, sire.
She's a powerful enchantress and vengeful too. In fact, I was expecting some sort of fresh mischief from her on Allaira's 18th birthday, as is often the case. I'm just surprised nothing's come of it.
Your Highness, all the water in the kingdom has gone.
Ah, there it is.
He's right, Father.
How do you know of this, fair prince?
Allaira and I were about to go for a swim when we discovered that the water had been completely drained.
Isn't that absolutely dreadful?
Yes, quite dreadful.
But it's not just that, Your Highness. We've ventured through the entire kingdom. Wells are dry, rivers, lakes, streams, and ponds are all empty. The clouds are gone and not even babies can shed a tear as they cry.
Father, bring the water back.
Of course, my darling. I'll solve this whole matter.
Wonderful.
Now, how do I solve this whole matter?
I think I may know, Your Majesty.
You? What could you possibly know about the ways of magic and the reversal of such dark sorcery?
Well, my great-uncle was a retired mage from whom I studied. Plus, I've done research on the history of water wizardry. Not to mention, there was this gold plate at the bottom of the lake that explains how to counteract the water spell.
You don't say. Let me see that plate, Prince...
Tobey. Prince Tobey.
The terribly depressed.
That's the one.
I don't know about terribly depressed, but here's the plate, Your Majesty.
Okay. It reads, "Death alone from death can save. Love is death, and so is brave. Love can fill the deepest grave. Love comes on beneath the wave." What in heavens does this mean? Talk about enigmatic.
Oh, give me that plate. Oh, I dare say, this is utterly incomprehensible nonsense. We'll never break the curse on our water at this rate.
If you please, Your Majesties, there is a clearer explanation.
What clearer explanation?
The one written on the back of the plate.
He's a pretty smart fellow when he's not acting so stupid.
Oh, well, of course there is. What does it say, Emeline?
If the lake should disappear, you must find the hole which was the water's source.
How simple.
But the restoration will not be simple.
There's always a catch.
But one effectual mode. The body of a living man placed in the hole must hold the floodgates open to restore the flow.
Good heavens!
The man must give himself
of his own free will, and the lake must take his life as it fills over him. Otherwise, the offering will be of no avail.
That's the end of it.
Dear me, this will never do. I dare say we won't find any man in the kingdom willing to sacrifice himself.
Not even our own soldiers?
Ha! Especially not them. The only reason we have men in our army is because our kingdom has never gone to war. No, we will never find someone willing to sacrifice themselves for this kingdom.
I humbly disagree, Your Majesty, because I shall do it.
You? Why would you sacrifice yourself to save our land from a deadly drought? This is not even your kingdom.
Allaira will die if I don't do it, and life would be nothing to me without her. So I shall lose nothing by doing this.
Oh, I am obliged to you, you young fool. Take a glass of wine?
No, thank you.
Very well. Would you like to run and see your parents before you begin your endeavor?
No, thank you. But I have a condition to make.
What is that?
It is not something that you can offer.
Me? I'm the king. What is not in my power to offer?
Your daughter, Princess Allaira. Since I must be drowned as the river rises to refill the lake, and the waiting to drown will be rather wearisome, will you please wait with me? Feed me if I grow weary, and look at me now and then to comfort me. As soon as the water is up to my eyes, you may go and be happy and forget about your poor prince friend.
Of course, Tobey. What fun! It shall be like a picnic.
Yes, just like a picnic.
How strange. I've never been in a lake without water before. What a day for unusual experiences, isn't it, Papa?
Mm-hmm. Yes, child, quite.
And look at those stars. They're so bright tonight and so lovely. Oh, what a perfect night. It's warm with a nice breeze. And those stars over there are beautiful too. I wish I knew the name of them.
Ah, look, Your Majesty, right here. There's a small pit in the center of this barren lake. It's only a bit over 5 feet deep, I dare say, but I do believe this is the hole of which the golden plate spoke.
Oh, wonderful.
I do believe you're right, Squire. This must be the spot. It looks like this pit is just big enough for me to stand in. Will you help lower me into it?
Of course, sir.
Thank you. Yes, this must be the spot. There's a large stone lever before me, which must be the handle to open the floodgate. Only one way to find out.
What's that noise? Oh!
What is it, Allaira?
Yes, what? What? Such an uncharacteristic outburst, my dear.
Oh, it's nothing. I was just startled to see Tobey in the pit so suddenly.
Worry not, my darling. What's most important is that even though my head is just below the edge of this hole, if I lift my eyes up, I can gaze clearly upon you.
We thank you, Prince Tobey, for your immeasurable sacrifice.
Thank you, Your Highness. The situation is now well in hand. I can already feel the water rising beneath my feet. You may leave me now.
Yes, I thought as much. The Queen is back at the castle ready for dinner. And as you have this under control, it seems I might as well take my leave.
You may go as well, Squire.
Oh, yes, Princess.
Don't cry, old friend. It's quite all right. As long as I have her here. Allaira, would you mind sitting closer to the edge of the hole so I can see you?
Of course. This is very kind of you, Prince.
You are worth dying for, after all.
You know what I'm dying for right now? A song. Why don't you sing a little, Tobey? We could perform a duet like we did a few days ago. It would really help fight my boredom.
Well, I'm afraid I'm too weak to sing. The water has presently reached my waist, and holding open this floodgate is taking too much of my strength. Why don't you sing something, my dear?
Oh, but I'm so sleepy.
Sleep then, darling. And don't mind me.
Really, you were very good. I think I will have a nap.
Only, if you could give me a glass of wine and a biscuit first.
With all my heart. I had better be careful, though, because the water is already up to your chest, and I don't want to make the biscuit soggy.
Quite. That would be the greatest tragedy of the evening.
Why, Prince, you don't look well. Are you sure you don't mind this?
Not a bit. But if I die of hunger before the lake can drown me, it won't do you any good.
Then here, take this biscuit.
I'm afraid you must feed me. Now that I've opened the floodgate, I dare not let go of the lever.
Oh, good gracious. All right, then.
Thank you. Now, I'm sorry, Princess, but we are approaching the end faster than I expected. For your own sake, I can no longer let you go to sleep. You must sit and look at me, else I shall not be able to go on.
I will do anything I can to oblige you.
When the water rises over this pit, you'll need to ride Baron on to shore. Can you do that?
I've never ridden a horse before, but I promise to walk him to safety.
Thank you. And Baronon, you take care of her, all right?
Do you think we'll be able to go for a quick swim before this is all over?
If I leave my post before the lake is filled, the water will not return. And the filling of the lake will result in my end. I shall swim no more.
Oh, I forgot.
Will you kiss me, Princess?
Yes, I will. Now, wait a minute. Why, Tobey! Oh, the water's already past your neck!
And soon the water will return, and you will very shortly forget me. Life will soon be as pleasant for you as ever, and there will be so much more beauty and happiness in the world. As for me, this will be no death. At least I shall not feel it, not with you by my side. For now, I die happy.
Toby? Toby! Oh, Barignon! Barignon, the water is over his head! Oh, what can we do? The water's rising. It's overflowing the pit. I can't let this happen. I'm taking him out. Toby? Oh, wake up, Toby. Oh, you must wake up. Barignon, help me put Toby onto your back. There we go. Now, let me climb on. I've never ridden before, but there'll never be a better time to learn. To the castle! Yeah!
Princess, why are you returning so soon?
I have the prince. He's unconscious and very sick. Take him to my quarters at once and send for my nurse.
But the lake, your highness, the water is not yet returned.
Go and drown yourself then.
How are you holding up, child?
Oh, nurse, we've been at this all night and nothing you've tried has so much as stirred him. But we must keep trying until all means have been exhausted. And yet his breathing is so shallow already. But surely you have helped people in far worse positions.
I'm afraid, Princess, I have exhausted every remedy I know. I think your prince may now be beyond my help.
I see. If there's nothing to be done, then there's nothing to be done. He expected this would be his end, and he accepted it. I will have to accept it too.
You're very brave, Princess.
He was brave. I'm just honoring my promise. All that remains now is for me to wait with him until the end has fully and truly come, as I promised him I would.
I'll open the windows. The strains of a new dawn are upon us.
Allaira?
Princess, look!
Where am I? I expected to be a lot soggier by now.
He's awake! More than that, he's alive!
Don't cry, Princess. This is a happy occasion.
That's why I'm crying!
Allaira! Allaira, what is it?
Oh, we're sorry to intrude, dear, but we couldn't stay out when it sounded like you were crying.
She is. She's crying. And the prince, he's alive.
What's going on here?
Your Majesties, look out the window. It's raining again. It's raining. And the sun is so bright, it makes the droplets look like a stream of rubies and sapphires. And look, the lake is full once more.
Allaira, did you hear that, Allaira? I don't know how you did it, but you did it. The lake has returned.
What? What did you say? What lake?
My darling, stand up off the floor and be happy with me.
Oh, I can't get up. Why is it so hard to get up?
Oh, my darling child, she's found her gravity.
Oh, this is gravity, is it? It's very unpleasant.
This is wonderful. You've been healed and so have I. How's the lake now?
It's brimming over.
Then we're all happy.
That we are, indeed.
Here, my darling. Let me help you up.
but you can't get out of bed. You're too unwell. You don't have the strength.
But I do now. I have the strength to pick you right up off the floor and into my arms.
Whoa, that's better. My, is this the gravity that you used to make so much of? For my part, I was a great deal more comfortable without it.
No, that's not it. This is it. This is gravity.
Oh, that's better. I don't mind that so much. And she smiled the sweetest, loveliest smile in the prince's face, and the two of them were very happy together, although I fear she complained of her gravity more than once after this. It was a long time before she became accustomed to walking, but the pain of learning it was quite counterbalanced by two things, either of which would have been sufficient consolation. The first was that the prince himself was her teacher, and the second was that she could tumble into the lake as often as she pleased. Still, she preferred to have the prince jump in with her, and the splash they made before was nothing compared to the splash they made now.
That was The Light Princess, based on the story by George MacDonald. Adapted for audio by John Wojtechko and Peter Wojtechko Jr. Directed by John Wojtechko. Produced by Thomas Marinchak. The cast in order of appearance was Taylor Hanson as Princess Allaira, Rick Manasa as King Clifton, Maura Underwood as Queen Emeline, Christopher Ouellette as Tim the Squire, Chris Paluzzi as Prince Tobey, Susanna Pringle as the nurse. Foley and sound design by Joseph Adams and Jacob Gorsich. Original music composed by John Wojtechko and mastered by Joseph Adams. A production of We Are One Body Audio Theater.